You know what time it is. It's time for Compare and Contrast, the tier list segment. All right. Last time we were out here, we did chocolates. You want to review how we went with chocolates, Kuro? You on here, so.
I disagreed heavily with your tier list about chocolates.
Oh, actually?
Yeah. I didn't think Cherry Up was that bad.
Yeah.
I think Twix was placed way too low.
Okay.
I actually agreed with Manu a lot of the time, to be honest. Cadbury.
But he had Cherry Ripe at the bottom.
Aside
from that.
Right? The Milky Bar should have been up there.
No.
Dairy Milk should have been up there.
No. Actually, no. Dairy Milk, looking back, I probably agree on that one.
Yeah. Twix should have been up there.
Nah, Twix is so hit and miss, I feel.
But
we could go on for hours about where things should be.
Enough about the chocolate tier list. We put out a poll on Instagram a few weeks ago asking what should we tier list next, and wow, we got so many responses.
Came in your droves, man.
We actually got 20 separate people who wrote in to the Sydney train lines. So I don't know what you guys think of us here.
Dude, yeah. How can we review Sydney train lines?
What could I possibly be saying about Milson's Point? That hasn't
Milson's Point versus Epping. Go on. Exactly.
I got nothing. So if you do see us tier listing the Sydney train lines, you know that we've hit rock bottom.
Wait, lines or stations?
It would have to be stations. Because what? Northern Line versus
that's what I was
City
thinking.
Circle.
Yeah.
Damn, dude, that's a matchup.
City Circle has to win. Just
One thing, when we do put out these calls on Instagram, look, some people treat it like a little comedy show for themselves.
We got about 10 that said TCB hosts.
Yeah, rank your mutual friends.
Rank each other's
religions.
mums.
Yeah, rank each other's mums.
That's
Outrageous.
crazy.
But keep sending in.
Yeah, please keep sending it. We actually have, it's quite funny, to be honest.
Anyway, what we landed on, and someone did submit this, was Gen Z hobbies. Hobbies, guys. Stuff we do outside of your normal regular 9 to 5. So we've got a list of about, dare I suggest 12, maybe even 15. And we're going to go through.
Which one is it?
It's actually 13. Now that I've done a quick maths on it, it's 13. So we're going to go through and we're going to tier list them. As per usual, our tier lists are, the top one is GOAT. The second top one is good. In the middle is serviceable. Second last is last resort. And as per usual, the bottom is trash tier. So we'll begin. First up, we have running.
Biggest trend of corporate 2024, I feel.
Yeah.
Every man and their dog is either running, run club. Dude, it's a pandemic.
But I got to say, maybe it's a good pandemic.
I don't know. Can you explain what a run club is, maybe for people who don't know what it
So
is?
there's this club, right?
Shush.
No, so basically it's a club where every Saturday, 7 a.m. we'll meet at
7 a.m. Hey, I'm seeing 5 a.m., 4 a.m., 3:45 a.m.
Well, you got different levels of difficulty and, experience, but whatever time, wherever place we meet here every Saturday and we'll run 5, 10, 15 meters, kilometers, whatever it may be.
But why? Why do people join these run clubs? And why has it all of a sudden become so popular?
You know what I've heard? Run clubs are the new dating apps.
So the unofficial run club is like a run club here in Sydney. I think it's like the most popular one.
Wait, that's the name of it.
Yeah. They get like 1,500 people rocking up doing the run every morning.
What?
Yeah. Or like whenever they do it every week. And they had like a Valentine's event day where you wear like green if you're single.
Like a traffic light.
Yeah, type party.
sitch.
Yeah. So people are really leaning into that run club. But I would say, right? Run clubs is not about the running. It's about the pastries afterwards. It's about the swim at, the beach afterwards.
So it's a social aspect.
Correct. And you just feel good because you start your day off with a nice run. You've done like 3 different things and it's only 7 a.m.
Yeah, you burn off 100 calories in the morning and then you eat like 1,000 calories worth at brunch after.
Exactly.
What
It's the
about
balance?
The people who start run clubs, is it profitable for them? Because they're free, right?
Where's the profit though? Yeah.
So are they making money? Or are they doing it for the goodness? And
No, so what I heard, there was this run club that was started by within like a media agency, like an advertising agency, whatever. And then every week, they get the employees of the company to go on a run. And they got so big. And then one of their clients were Under Armour, that Under Armour sponsored their run club. So
Really?
every person in the run club got Under Armour head to toe.
That's pretty cool.
So profit could be made.
Yeah, okay.
I like this. I think running is a good activity. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Like I don't personally run.
Are you in a run club? No?
No, I don't think there's any around my area. Or it's not like, but the thing is, there may be stuff around my area, but it's not the same vibe.
No.
You're not running like, and you can see the water. You're not running and you can see the bridge. You can't like have a dip in the water afterwards. That's like the fun part of a run.
Running down Windsor Road doesn't hit the same.
No,
does it?
it doesn't.
So running itself was saying,
I think it's a great hobby. And I think also one thing about, forget the run clubs, right? I've started like just stalking people on Strava, and I really like doing it.
Okay, for the not uninitiated, what's Strava?
No, everyone knows what Strava is.
No,
bro.
that is such a niche app to use.
Not everyone knows Strava.
It's just look, it's like the Instagram for your like activities. So you're like cycling, you're running, you're swimming, and you can just see how like far people run, how fast they run.
So you track your run. I will go out run 5Ks. I'll track it. You can see it on the map, and then all of yous can see it.
Yeah,
basically
froth
that.
You give kudos as well if you want.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
And there's like leaderboards as well, right?
Yeah, there's like leaderboards and like, I don't know, challenges and stuff.
But why is Run Club at like 5 o'clock in the morning? Why can't we do it during the day or in the afternoon?
It's too hot.
Productivity, mate. Start the day right.
You sound anti-run club or
No.
anti-running in general.
No. I'm not anti. I'm just baffled by this.
I don't believe in the hype. You know, I run every now and again. Good little hobby, but I don't believe in the start a club. Let's make it a whole social thing.
Yeah, surely this fad is going to die out in the next year or so.
I think so, but I think what is beautiful about running is it's just a free activity that you can just do by yourself. You can do it with people. You can do it like anywhere. It's accessible.
Is running a hobby?
Yeah.
It is.
Is it?
Yeah, because you like usually people like training for something potentially.
Right.
They'll be training for like, oh, let's do the Sydney Morning Herald half marathon,
And then
the
you can-
Hoka 10.
And then you can buy stuff for it, like new shoes, new vests, stuff like that. Hobby, go on. What's a hobby? Define
I
it.
want to find the definition of a hobby. Okay,
So
wait.
we've seen the ones that are coming, mate. There's some
If
loose.
this is not a hobby, brother, we should just can the segment because there's a lot of non-hobbies.
Well, according to Oxford Dictionary, a hobby is a small horse or pony. So
Oh, okay, yeah.
no, it says an activity done regularly in one's leisure time for pleasure.
Yeah.
People enjoy running.
But you said people going there for dating for nefarious reasons.
Look, if you can find your love of your life, you know, after a run, who am I to say that's
All
not a
right.
hobby?
Where are we putting running then?
I want to put running as good. Honestly, push and go, like
I'm happy to put in good to be
It's not
honest.
goat.
It's not goat.
I could say good. It's a healthy, regular. It's free.
Mm.
Anyone can do it. You can just go out in the street and do it. I think it's good. Yeah.
I'm happy to live with that. Next up, food influencer.
All right. This is really, we're just throwing stones here at
This
this
is
point.
so niche. How many food influencers do you know personally?
I think,
A couple.
yeah,
Personally.
Yeah.
I think everyone has had the idea, like, let me review food. And
Oh.
there was a phase at Instagram, there was heaps of times where people just popped in like, oh, now here's my food page. Go follow my food page. I'm making food. I'm reviewing food. Because anyone can do it. Do you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
don't really need to be like talented. It's something just fun. You're going to eat at restaurants anyway. So you may as well review the food.
Every second person has had a go at some sort of, we've had a go at food influencing, but
I would still say we are.
The premiere.
Yeah,
No,
no,
we're not.
we're not.
But everyone loves, as Rose said, create a second account. You take photos of your food anyway. Might as well
Yeah.
put up as a review.
But you're not trying to review the food, are you? You're just putting it, you're just sharing where you've eaten.
But why make a second account? Why curate posts to have a rating system?
Well, we have a food influencer in our soccer team, and I can only describe his marketing as aggressive. He pays for Instagram marketing, so I'm getting ads for his Instagram page, even though I already follow it.
You're going off that. Yeah. You know, every person is having a go at an account, running ads, etc. But what I will say, if you are one of the ones that make it out,
Mm.
my God, are you living the life? You're getting DM requests from every second restaurant, new restaurants, opening restaurants, big restaurants. They want you there.
From us podcasters.
Exactly.
Can I just put one counterpoint?
Go
Right?
on?
Yeah, you get all the invites to these restaurants, but really you're a full-time eater. And I'm wondering how the weight fluctuates.
Okay, hang on. Firstly, aren't we all full-time eaters?
No, but
Yeah, we all do it 3 times a day, champ.
They just film it.
they film like food that is maybe not healthy as such. They're just eating at the trendiest restaurants.
Yeah, okay.
So like, yeah, it sounds all well and good, but I'm thinking like 6 months of being a food influencer, I reckon you're putting on the kegs.
Now, here's another counterpoint to your counterpoint.
Okay.
You know,
Join the
Matt
Run Club.
Stoney,
Yeah, I know Matt Stoney.
competitive eater.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's to train for competitive eating.
Mm.
He's eating like, 100 pieces of KFC type vibe, that volume.
Dude.
And he's as skinny as a fucking twig.
How that guy hasn't died yet, I actually don't know. Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't make sense. You can't eat that much and like the volume of like that greasy, like unhealthy food and not have a heart condition at this point.
I think there is high danger of
Mm.
gaining some weight, but I think if you don't want to, you can work around it.
I just wanted to put that in the consideration.
That's
okay?
fair. But does that outweigh, getting invites for all these restaurants plus getting a bag for doing it as well?
But I think it's embarrassing. For me, like it's just the embarrassment factor.
Embarrassment of what?
Like
Right.
you're at the restaurant and like, yeah, the meal gets put in, it's beautiful food or whatever. And you've got to sit here now recording this. And this is the thing that food influencers do, right? They record themselves and then they'll put the food in their mouth and they'll be like, so good. Or like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, it just feels cringe.
You know who has the most over the top reactions? The Mark Weens
Don't
guy.
say Mark Weens.
Dude, that
He's
guy-
my king.
No, I like him. I actually really like him. But his like facial reactions whenever he eats food is comical. Like it looks like a Disney reaction.
It's also because the camera's right up at his face. It's
Yeah.
the whole frame.
I don't think it's embarrassing because these guys are doing it for a living. It's like if someone came and watched you doing your job, right? You know what I mean? Like if people know
How embarrassing, Ray. You open up the spreadsheet.
these guys have like 100,000s of followers, so people know who they are. They know what they're doing.
But
So
then
it's
what
not-
if you have like 600 followers?
Then yeah, I think there's no. But at some point you have to lose the shame, right? Like if you want to really.
But my job, the difference, okay, look, I agree. I think it's a great thing. You get extremely good perks, but I'm saying you have to suffer the shame and the cringe
On the way up.
on the way up.
Correct. But you have to, right? Otherwise you're not going to make it. So if you really truly want to pursue it, you have to just suck it up.
I don't know. You said if someone watches my job, would I be embarrassed? No, I wouldn't be embarrassed because it's not in public.
Because you're asleep half the time.
You're not really making a scene. I don't know.
I don't know. My issue with the food influencers, and I said this before, is that there's no value add with what they say. They're not actually critically reviewing the food. It's not like a Gordon Ramsay on MasterChef saying, you need more salt, blah, 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 blah. They're
Matt
just,
Preston, this is disgusting. Disgustingly good.
yeah, there's none of
Like,
that. It's just,
Wait,
they're just
so like
eating the food and that's it.
A video at a restaurant, they go in, they try the fucking pad thai and they say, oh, it's a 6 out of 10. It's good. Oh no. They don't even
They
give
won't,
ratings.
they won't even say that. They'll just have a few superlatives. Oh, this is amazing. This is good. And that's it. That's all it is.
Try it. Give it a go.
Exactly.
But also, how many times have you found a restaurant through food influencers?
Countless.
Oh, yeah, so many.
Is that not the value add to your life, Sen? They're opening your eyes to this plethora of restaurants and places to eat that you would not have known about
Yeah,
without
that's
their
fair.
existence.
That is fair.
But I will say, because it's so accessible, I think, and also people like trying to make a career out of it as it's a hobby, but really you're trying to get famous. Like that's the end goal of
Oh,
this.
yeah.
I will say it's too saturated.
It's oversaturated to bits, man.
So that's why, I don't know, if we're going to put it in a tier list, I don't know where I can put this. Like, I don't think it's good. I think it's a serviceable hobby.
It's serviceable only for the small percentage who actually make it big.
It's good / goat.
Sorry,
for the
correct.
2%
Sorry.
or even 0.5%
So
that make
therefore
it
for
to those levels.
So surely because only such a small percentage actually make it into a viable living, that has to count.
Yeah,
factor
the average food influencer serviceable. You go eat, you take a couple photos, couple of videos, you put it up, you get some views, maybe one restaurant DMs you. That's all right. Serviceable.
Serviceable. Next hobby is being a car guy.
So we're talking here people that have their base car and they mod it, they photos of it, all that, right?
Yeah, you know the people who meet up in like the Lidcombe Krispy Kreme car park for meetups.
Yeah, burnouts in the car park and whatnot. Oh, look, I've never been into cars, and I think you are a little bit into cars.
I like cars, but I wouldn't say I'm into cars like these people. But I think it's a cool hobby. I think it's a very expensive hobby.
Yeah.
It's a disgustingly expensive hobby.
Yeah.
So I remember being in the car of like one of our mates when we were just out of uni, and like he's a car guy, modded his car, and he's telling me how much, this part in my car makes the engine a bit louder. That was a couple K.
Yeah.
And then the suspension's a bit lower. That was a couple K. And then all this. And I'm like, brother, you're a tutor. How are you affording all of this?
That's the thing. One thing I respect about this hobby is if you're into it, you're really into it. There's no people who half-ass this hobby. Like everyone there is like fully passionate and into it. And it's not like, for example, food influencers, like we said, you can have people who just like kind of don't do it, take it seriously, and they never make it. With the car guys, they're in 100%.
You know what I don't get? People that have like a 2010 Honda Getz or something, a Honda Jazz, and that's what they mod. That I don't get.
I've never seen that.
No, I've seen like little shitbox cars, but their engine's fucking loud and all that.
Really?
Yeah.
But I think like people don't mod. If you're into cars, you mod the right ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so the Gats must have been like there'd be like 6,000.
it's not like a Nissan Skyline and
it's
shit like that.
The GTRs or your WRXs.
I've seen normal average cars modded.
That's hilarious.
There's like, I see a lot of car photography, and I got to say,
It looks cool.
it looks pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
I got to say, like some of the stuff that they put up there is pretty sick. But I got to say, like, I don't know, driving cars fast and just like being obnoxiously loud, Not for me personally.
I think it's cool. But I feel like there's two camps of the car guys. There's the young guys who are into like you said, your Nissan Skylines and all that. And then there's the older Aussie guys who's into like the vintage, Holden Commodores or your Mustangs. So there's two camps, I think, in the car industry.
To go out on a limb, I think it's a bit cringe. I think the whole car vibe is a bit cringe, dude.
That's a hot take, and we're going to get some comments about that.
That's fine. Come at me. I don't care. I drive a Honda Civic.
What do you find cringe about it?
People that like make a whole like Instagram account for their car, and then their the handle is their license plate, and then in their bio it's their license plate. It's like their whole personality is the fucking license plate. No, genuinely,
it's a bit of harmless fun. They're not hurting anyone.
I never said I was getting harmed.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's a bit. Maybe I just don't get it, but a bit cringe to me.
I have to agree with Manu here, to be honest. Like I don't really understand it. And it doesn't really seem that fun to just like sink in crazy cash. Like the speed limit's like 110. You're modding this car for what? Where are you driving it?
Yeah, but it sounds
to beat the
cool.
Sydney traffic or something.
Yeah.
It looks cool and it sounds cool. Also,
I actually don't think it sounds cool. It looks cool. Granted, give you that. Does it sound cool?
yes, are you crazy? I don't know. How much of your life do you spend driving?
Yeah, like a lot.
A fair bit. So you might as well get into a machine that you enjoy, that you've spent, hours of time and money into building into a nice, beautiful machine.
So car manufacturers are for. They build a solid build of a car that I can plug and play.
For me, this is in trash.
No, definitely not in trash.
I could sway to trash as well.
What's the one above trash?
I think it's a last resort.
Yeah, if you have no personality, you can jump to this as your last resort of getting one. Yeah, maybe.
All right, can we put myself in the clip saying that I'm all for cars and I don't want to get flamed like these two?
Manny, what do you want to do?
I want to put it in trash.
I want to put it in trash too.
All right, car goes into trash. All right, next up we have going to the gym. Is gym a hobby?
A lot of people make it a hobby.
Much like I asked with running, is exercise a hobby?
It has to be.
Yeah.
Because if you get asked, what do you do outside of work? If you go to the gym, you say, I work out, I go to the gym.
If you're spending like 4 to 6 days a week in a gym, that's a significant portion of your week.
But isn't this the same as the car people? Like I know people who make gym their entire personality. Like what's his name on TikTok? Swole, Jimmy Swole, whatever his name is.
Joey Swole.
Joey Swole, yeah.
That's fine. It's his own community.
Again, I like the health aspects that going to the gym comes with.
Yeah.
I'm sure that many people who go to the gym probably have like body dysmorphia and stuff like that. And without
we won't touch on that.
Serious conditions.
Yeah. But I would just say this is it's not a special hobby. It's just really kind of table stakes. Like you should be doing this.
Is gymming a hobby that you do on your own or do you do it with other people?
There's just beauty of it. You can do it on your own when you only have time, but if you make it a social thing, it's its own thing as well.
I don't find the gym that fun.
Yeah.
But people get really into it because I guess you can see progress. That's the thing. Sorry, going back to the car, like the hobby, you can just see yourself getting better.
Yeah.
Whereas like the cars, I don't know, you see your car getting better?
Yeah,
Like,
you can see it. You can.
Bro, you do see your car getting better.
The performance of the car gets better.
All right, forget the cars. Still stuck on that. I think the gym is a good hobby. You're feeling healthy. I think it's not a lot of money, which makes it nice.
Accessible.
Exactly.
Hobby for all.
And you can you can sink some money in if you want to go to like a better gym and stuff.
Oh, I thought you were going to say to buy some gear or something.
That's if you're, expert level.
Is it a hobby for all? I've heard that gyms can be a bit toxic,
Well, that's a downside. The gym itself, you got to find the right gym if you're.
So the actual building itself is quite.
Yeah, like the cheaper gyms where anyone can go and it's like they're just open all the time. That's a bit. You run into some crowds there, but I'm sure if you're a bit self-conscious, you might have to pay a little extra, but you can go to gyms, I guess.
Is gym pay to win? So if you do get on the gear and stuff like that.
Yeah, it is, I suppose.
Until you get a heart attack.
Oh,
exactly.
The thing I like about gym though as well is like there's regular classic gyms, like your Anytimes, your Fitness First, this sort of stuff. Then there's like hyper specialized, like CrossFit gyms. There's like calisthenics gyms. So,
Pilates. Does that count?
No. But like you can basically it's choose your own adventure type thing.
Right.
You don't have to be like locked in. When you think gym, obviously you think just kind of like building hypertrophy weights, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's not just pushing weight and getting big, dude. You can do it for anything.
Yeah.
Barry's boot camp, F45, that sort of stuff. Or is that again? Doesn't.
We're talking about just different types of training, right? You can do like plyometrics, jump with weight and stuff. That'll get you quicker and faster. That sort of thing. It's not just I can bench more. My chest is going to get bigger. That's what I mean by it's for all. For sport, for getting big, trimming down, et cetera, et cetera.
The one fad, and this is actually absolutely a fad, there's stretching gyms where you can pay a measly $50 a week to just have machines where you can, essentially just stretch your hamstrings, stretch your calves.
I had a free trial somewhere like that, but someone would stretch you out.
Okay.
Make it that way you will. But it's like how when you go to the physio, they're like massage you a little in that. Similar vibe, but they just stretch your
like
hamstring.
a chiropractor.
Yeah, but they don't crack your back. But
Isn't that what they did in the medieval times? They put you on the board and they just stretch you out.
It's like execution.
Yeah.
and it's like assisted stretching, and it costs an arm and a leg as well. But they open up everywhere. So I don't know if it's popular or if it's a racketeering, but that's just an aside.
Has gym always been a popular hobby, you reckon? Or can I put it down to Ziz and his influence
No,
here?
I think it's timeless.
Absolutely timeless.
It's a timeless hobby.
So it's not like running where it'll die out maybe in a year or two. It'll always be there.
People that run will run in the gym.
All right. So where are we putting gym on the tier list?
Gym, honestly, I think it might have to go GOAT, dude, just because of how universal it is,
Yeah.
how accessible it is,
Yeah.
health benefits, mental and physical.
Yeah.
Anyone can do it.
Timeless.
Timeless. Has been a fad and it will continue to be.
Relatively cheap as well and low barrier to entry.
Exactly. And all sorts of training you can do at the gym. I think it's GOAT.
Next up, we have lifestyle influencing. Again, I don't know how this is any different to food influencing.
You got people that do fashion and like,
The get ready with me's.
yeah, like how to get into the gym. Not actually, like showing you how to the gym. They're more about someone that just goes to the gym, like that sort of influencing. Just general day-to-day vlogging, I guess.
See, this one, I don't know anyone personally who does this.
This one is people that just want to be famous.
This is the lowest form of influencing.
Like there's no actual talent.
No.
Like there's no theme, there's nothing. They just want to be famous. And once you're famous, it's self-sufficient.
See, I swear to God, I see so many of these people on my Instagram or TikTok, and they're devoid of personality. How did they become that big? I just don't get it. Are they relatable? Were they relatable at one point? Were they interesting at one point? I don't know.
There's like two types of lifestyle influencing. There's like the relatable aspect of it.
Yep.
And then there's like the aspirational aspect of it.
Right.
So they fall into two categories, right? The aspirational people watch because it's like, I don't know, these people will buy designer handbags.
I was going to say they have like ostentatious wealth on display. Yeah,
pretty much.
yeah.
And then the relatable is more like, it's like relatable where they wake up a little bit earlier than you and they do a little bit of journaling.
Oh,
They're like for the common man type vibe.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, this is how I make my life so much better. It's a difficult one.
do people like that actually exist? Unironically, though, the people who get up at 6 and they journal and then they
I'm
meditate.
sure there are.
100%.
I'm sure there are. The people that actually do it don't, put it up on the internet. They just do it.
Yeah.
So we're talking like the Alex Earls of the world and those sort of people.
Yeah, that sort of stuff.
Right.
I
don't hold this in high regard.
No, neither do I. But it's also really, like, again, I spoke about cringe filming food content.
Yeah.
It's really hard filming lifestyle content because you have to like set the tripod. Let's say like your lifestyle vlogging your run. You then like run past the tripod, double back, pick it up, then go to the next shot. Like it's a full-time job.
Have you seen the ones where like this girl was crying because her boyfriend broke up with her, and then like all the comments like, so what? You broke up, you set up a camera, and then you started crying for the camera, like uncontrollably.
So that's what I can't get out of my head when I watch these videos.
Dude, I saw one where it's like there's this mum and there's this son and their dog died. And obviously the son is inconsolable, but then the mum's like full vlogging it, and then camera sign in the son's face, whatever they vlog, and at the end he's like, "Oh, let's get a thumbnail face."
No,
They put that in the video?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if but it's out in the public somehow.
That's fucked.
So then he's still full crying, and then she makes a face. And bang, thumbnail photo. So are we including like family? Is like family vlogs in this?
It's all in it.
Dude, bro, family channels are the worst channels on the internet.
The thing is, right, on YouTube, they all have like millions and millions of subscribers though.
The perfect family.
Yeah.
You compare your family with, the Joneses?
Dude, how arrogant do you have to be to think, oh, my life is so interesting, I want to start vlogging it and people will watch?
Look, I don't mind the concept of lifestyle blogging. I just think it's not a very sustainable concept.
What do you mean?
Like, really, right? When you're vlogging your lifestyle, there's heaps of periods where you're just doing nothing.
But that's the thing. Anything is content for them.
No, but no one's really doing that. Like, you just feel like you have to be doing stuff. It like promotes a very unhealthy image of what a lifestyle is.
Dude, I've seen this girl on TikTok. She's got a couple of million, and one of her videos is just her doing her grocery shopping. That's all.
That's genius. I'm not going to lie.
So anything is content for them.
But that's not really how, I don't know. I've never seen people who blow up just doing,
Obviously, I think she was
Grocery
obviously big
shopping.
before.
That was like the golden era of YouTube. Counterpoint, golden era of YouTube. I loved Casey Neistat.
Yeah, I was going to say, Casey Neistat literally vlogged every single day, didn't he?
And then we look at the UK YouTube scene, like the Marcus Butlers of the world, the Zoellas. They're like, do they fall under lifestyle influencer? Maybe.
Yeah,
nah,
big
they
time.
do like comedy stuff.
Who, Casey Neistat?
Not Casey Neistat. He's obviously a lifestyle influencer.
Yeah.
I never watched any of these lifestyle influencers. I never watched like, any of the daily vlogs of people. I had no interest in that.
Yeah, okay.
That's its whole era. Well, let's put that era aside. Common day, modern day lifestyle influencing, I can't get around.
It's trash.
Dude, if I saw someone I knew started doing that, I think I'd lose a lot of respect for them.
Nah, not that much, but it's just not really fun. Like it's just hard and it's not really that entertaining to listen to or watch.
So where are we putting it?
And for me, it's trash.
It is trash.
All right, next up, we have sports betting. Is this a hobby?
Sen, you're a regular.
Ah,
Your definition of hobby was
something
on the
you-
regular in leisure time for pleasure.
We could have just said watching sport is a hobby, but
No,
we've
no,
gone
I
one
think-
step further.
I think there's another pandemic of sports betting.
Yeah, I saw this stat the other day where New South Wales makes up 0.2% of the world's population, but we have 37% of the world's poker machines.
Wow.
So there is an absolute massive gambling problem in this country. What I don't get is, dude, so I think in the US, gambling was never legal, right? Or it wasn't widespread.
Prohibition.
But I feel like in the last few years, they've started getting like Stake and like
Dude,
those kind of,
Everything is sponsored by like Stake,
or FanDuel or whatever.
Prize Picks.
But it's becoming big in the US now. And so
No,
now,
gambling was always legal. I think there was some rules around like online casinos.
Right,
And like
okay.
some states you're allowed to have it and some states you're not allowed to have it. But that stuff is not sports betting. That's like, is Stake sports betting? I thought it was like
Yeah.
a crypto thing. Crypto
They-
stuff.
Stake
have-
has sports betting.
they have sports betting,
Ah,
yeah.
Okay.
But it's gone to the point where people are like abusing athletes on the field because they lost their multi. See that?
Yeah.
In
yeah.
basketball, that's huge.
Yeah, last week, mate, Jason Stanger came out and said he got hate mail because he got out 15. Literal hate mail.
That's a blight of sports betting.
But Sen, you sports bet. Why do you do it?
It's for a bit of fun. You know, it's for sport that you don't normally care about, but you're watching it. And so you need to feel something. So
Mm.
therefore you have to put real money on it to therefore back one of the teams or back a certain result.
So you like what? Football, footy, cricket. You're not betting on those because you love those sports, right? You don't need something to feel.
Yeah, exactly. Those sports I probably wouldn't bet on, but it's stuff like basketball, for example. I'm not the biggest basketball fan, but fuck, if you give me an over under 218 points for the line for the whole game, match points, absolutely I'm taking it. You know, PRA points, rebounds, assists, again, I'm taking it. And stuff like horse racing, you know, Melbourne Cup. Who really watches horse racing? But that one day of the year, you better believe I'm betting on race 1 to 10 at Melbourne.
I had a friend who was like a professional gambler. So
That's
he
not a
would-
thing.
Synonym for degenerate.
No.
Well, explain to me what a professional gambler is.
He basically like, he looks for arbitrage opportunities in all these different like brokers. So he'll go to Lad Bets, what's it called? Ladbrokes,
Broke.
Sportsbet, TAB, and he'll basically just like constantly scan for different opportunities and then make money that way.
Dude, how much? So he does this full time. This is
Yeah.
his job.
No, not
They've
really.
clamped down on it these days.
And I thought a lot of them have the same like odds for all their markets, like or very off by 1 or 2 cents.
There's like bonus bets and promotions that people get, which like make the odds kind of tilt in your favor a little bit more.
I think there was a couple of years where it wasn't clued on about arbitrage yet. So, you know, these companies were just thinking about themselves, putting out random bonus bets, random this, random that. But yeah, people like that realize if you combine them, make money. Didn't you do it once?
Yeah. For the NRL Grand Final, I do it, but like that's with small sums of money,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
like thousands of dollars. But you get banned like pretty quickly off these.
Can I just
apps.
say, Sportsbet have the best marketing in Australia.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
It's unbelievably predatory, but it's also very entertaining.
I started listening to a sports bet podcast
Yeah.
about the cricket.
Is it the Grubs? Is
the
that what they're called?
grubs? Yeah. Little hammy over there. I don't know. The blokes that they get on there are just very charming fellas who
Yeah.
make really good content. And like, I really have no desire to gamble, but I imagine if you're into gambling and you're just seeing these guys just have a laugh and talking about betting just so casually, you'd be willing to put in thousands
And
of dollars.
I love the way that they changed the narrative. Before it was like you used to gamble on your own. It's something you did in the secret, a dirty little thing. But now it's gamble with your mates. You know, you can have a group and you can have a group chat within Sportsbet itself.
Yeah, you've got a bloody sports bet group chat
got
with
two.
the boys. Yeah, wait, well, everyone puts their money in and
Yeah,
everyone can just bet with each other's money.
Correct.
Fantastic. You can lose your friend's money.
They've done an absolute, this is a masterclass.
Yeah, you don't have to lose your money anymore. Lose other people's money.
And then there's a chat inside where you can talk about whose money you lost.
I met someone who works at Sportsbet recently, and they told me that. So I asked, I'm like, oh, sure you get mad perks, sure you get free bonus bets, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, nah. I go, on our Sportsbet accounts, we have actual, they've set deposit limits on us. And you can't remove it. So I'm like, oh, so fair play. Everyone else, go ahead, lose as much money as you want. But if you're an employee.
Yeah, mate. Better not be losing your money.
And apparently their marketing team gets flown out everywhere. Apparently they're all going to Las Vegas for the NRL this week to go watch and get free corporate boxes, blah, blah, blah. They get flown out to go watch cricket, NBA. So anyway, if anyone's hiring at Sportsbet in the marketing department, you need 3 people.
Going back to the original points.
Yes.
Around feeling something.
Yes.
And that's why people do it.
Yeah.
In good conscience, I can't have that. And I can't have the problems that gambling comes with and say that it's worth the kind of squeeze sort of thing.
The juice isn't worth the squeeze, you would say.
Yeah. So where are we putting sports betting as a hobby?
It has to be trash.
It has to be. Dude.
It's pure degeneracy. But if you're on a run, it's a pretty fun one. But I think, out of good conscience, we have to put it in trash. Next up, we have bouldering. How is this a hobby? How is climbing a hobby? I'm sorry. Respectfully.
Climbing a rock.
Yeah.
That will pay its respect. I think it was the yesteryears running.
Yeah. Yes,
I
actually.
feel like it has come and it has gone. I remember back in the day, bouldering was the thing to do.
I reckon just after COVID, around 2020, 2021, that's when I heard the absolute peak of bouldering. And I haven't heard much since in the last year or so.
Exactly. Anyone go bouldering? Don't try it?
Yeah, I've been bouldering. Never been bouldering?
Never been bouldering. No interest whatsoever.
I will say bouldering is extremely popular in the, honestly, corporate circles. I went out to lunch with a new starter. I was getting to know her a little bit more. Who just rocked up at work, and her main hobby is bouldering. And then 3 other people were like, yeah, I climb as well. I love climbing. Low-key, there's a bit of a crossover between the runners and the climbers. They do both.
I can see that, to be honest.
I will say that people who talk about bouldering, they say the community is top notch. We were talking about making friends in Sydney, and a lot of people had made friends in Sydney through these bouldering gyms because everyone's just super supportive and super welcoming.
Go find other losers like you.
Maybe, but it's still fun to do. I got to say,
it's such a primal thing. You know what I mean? You see something, monkey see, monkey do. You got to climb it.
Yeah. But you're not gonna no respect for bouldering?
I have respect.
I have a bit of respect for it, but how we were talking about what's the hardest an off-air conversation we're having, this hardest sport to play in the world.
Yeah.
Dare I suggest bouldering is right at the bottom.
Depends. I mean,
it depends on the boulder.
Yeah, 100%.
What color are you bouldering?
You just need hands and core strength.
Have you seen Free Solo?
No, what's that?
The documentary?
I know Hope Solo.
Oh yeah.
Where Alex Honnold, he climbs El Capitan in Yosemite.
Dude, I didn't understand a single word.
There's 2 operating systems.
I'm more of a Sierra man myself.
Dude, this guy climbed a multi-thousand foot sheer cliff.
And he raw dogged it?
Raw dogged it.
No
ropes.
That is pretty impressive.
So there's 2 types. There's bouldering where it's you're climbing actual in the wild, you're doing it, or you just go to the gym and climbing, the rock climbing wall.
But my point is, isn't it boring after a while? For example, you play sport, you have your OzTag, soccer, blah, blah, blah. Every game is different. But in bouldering, aren't you climbing the same? And I understand there's different colors, but again, after a couple of weeks or maybe a couple of months, you've climbed all variations.
Then you go to a different gym.
Nah, they change the footholes and the handholds. So it changes.
Oh, so it's like golf. They'll move where the hole is.
Yeah. They'll move the pin.
Oh, actually?
Yeah, they'll take out the foothold here and replace it with a blue color instead of a green color. And so there is if you join a gym, there's variation there.
Okay.
Fine. I will say though, bouldering is for me, obviously I'm not a professional boulderer, but your
professional boulder.
Your forearms get really pumped and tired.
Yeah.
So you can realistically climb for half an hour. And then your job's done. But people stay at the gym for multiple hours because they'll climb, they'll get pumped up, they'll chill out at the cafe, and they'll come back again and do a little bit more climbing. So it's that sort of thing.
Is it only social, or is there a competitive aspect to bouldering as well?
There's speed climbing.
Yeah, I've seen people speed climb.
That's niche as.
Where are we putting bouldering then? This seems quintessential last resort for me. I'm not going to disrespect it and put it in trash, but I can't see this any higher than last resort.
Yeah, I think it's something, unfortunately, you pick up if you don't have an existing hobby yet.
Or mates.
Hey.
You can find some. But community, I respected. The actual activity, I respected. But last resort, I think, yeah.
All right, next up we have fitness coach. This seems niche. How many fitness coaches do you guys know?
I feel like there's so many people on Instagram as well that are putting out their workouts, for example.
Okay.
Like they create another Instagram page, put their workouts, put all this, put all that. Then the whole plan is they want to then become a fitness coach or an online PT or stuff like that.
This is, I think, the natural transition from like your gym bro. You take it really seriously, like gym as a hobby. And then obviously you've gotten big as a result of that. And it's now the next step is you teaching others how to get big or how to get fit.
Right.
I think like that's the progression. Anyone who like lifts seriously, I reckon like 80 to 90% of them have some sort of PT business, which they start shilling their like their online courses. Essentially.
Yeah, okay.
It's all over TikTok as well, I feel. People just show their workouts or show fucking their food they eat or something. And that's their account.
Fitness coach for me, I mean, like it's fine, but I just think there's too many of them there. And realistically, like how much extra value you're providing, like all the information's already out there. Eat well, progressively overload.
Yeah.
What extra are you doing?
Yeah, surely as humanity, we've exhausted our scientific research on fitness. Like we know what exercise to do, what to eat, What more could this man tell me that I couldn't find online?
Because I think the problem is fitness coaches make things more complicated.
Yeah, okay.
Like it's very simple. You just eat a lot, figure out your macros, and then you lift.
Well, that was what I was going to say. How, like, isn't fitness like so dependent on your body, your style, right? Like, how could me buying this $300 course, how would he know what exactly my body would need?
Well, like the fitness coach, I guess, like they'll do it personally to you.
Oh, would they? Okay.
They'll figure out your macronutrient need, your, calorie maintenance level. And if you want to gain weight, they'll tell you what to eat as well. Eat more at these times, do these workouts. They'll give you specifics so you don't have to do the Googling, basically.
See. So it's for lazy people.
Yeah, I would say so.
To an extent, yeah.
Do we reward that then? Where are we putting this on the tier list?
For me, this is also a last resort.
It's the last resort, I feel, yeah.
Okay.
It's a fine thing to do. People, I'm sure, get value out of it, but I just don't really see it. All the information's online. You can really do it yourself. If you want to pay someone to tell you, hey, you should eat 400 grams of protein a day, you can do that, but not for me.
Dude, give it to us instead. We'll happily do that. Yeah. So fitness coach goes into last resort. Next up, we have clubbing. I feel like I've said this for half of these at this point, is clubbing cannot be a hobby. Something you do for 3 hours or 4 hours on a Friday night and a Saturday night cannot be a hobby.
Some people do these other hobbies once a week.
No, well, most of these you do multiple times a week. Clubbing you do at most once or twice.
Let's just assume that all of these are hobbies.
All right, fine.
We'll view that through the lens because I have to agree with you for this one particularly. I'm finding it very difficult to state it's a hobby.
Let's extend it to raving.
Okay.
Right? Because that is a hobby. People, mark it on their calendars that these are the events to go. They'll buy outfits. They'll shred for a rave, et cetera, et cetera. They'll purchase other things, and it's a hobby.
I actually don't mind the people who are raving, the ravers. I have time for them. I don't mind them.
Do you?
Yeah.
I feel like
what?
You haven't before.
Is this a 180, you reckon?
Yeah, I feel like this is a 180 from you.
No, I've got a certain appreciation from them now. I've matured a bit and I'm like, each to their own. And I can see why people like it.
Why do you appreciate it? What do you see?
Yeah, it's just people having fun at the end of the day. It's young people going out there with, creating memories with their friends.
Beautiful.
They're not harming anyone. They're taking maybe some illicit substances, which is fine. Absolutely no problem with that. So I've actually got no issues with the whole rave culture.
But fundamentally, as a hobby, are you going to put it in the same tier as like gym? That's GOAT? Or are you going to put it in the same tier as bouldering, last resort? Where are we? Like, honestly, I'm struggling to find where we put this.
I like it because I think it would be somewhere in the middle. And I think with raving, it kind of goes in hand with travel. You can go around the world and go to different festivals, You can kind of make a whole trip of it.
I feel like
you can't do that with bouldering. I'm not going to Europe to try their bouldering scene. You know what I mean?
I think some people might.
Yeah. You're not.
But not as big as raving. And I think the community as well is another big thing.
Yes.
The huge community, especially in Sydney and Melbourne.
It's the people against the police, the dogs.
Yeah.
So that's in itself is a pretty cool
us against them, against the world.
Against the establishment. So again, I respect that.
Yeah, I'm not seeing what you guys are seeing. Yeah, I'm sorry. For me, fundamentally, this is like as loose as a hobby that you can get. And like, I simply cannot in good conscience put it anywhere on the same levels as what we've previously done.
Look, I get what you're saying, but I like the thing about raving as well is it's like a sportsman's career. You've only got about 10 years where you can rave. And like, you can't be raving as a 40-year-old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you've only got a finite amount of time to go and enjoy yourself and do these things. So that again adds a bit of mystique to me as well.
I can respect it. Again, the sense of community and all of that, and have fun. It is what it is. Not harming anyone. Keep it off my Instagram feed, please.
All right. So where are we putting clubbing/raving?
All things considered, I think Ro makes a good point in terms of we can't put on the same levels as some of the ones at the top. Serviceable, I think, where it should go.
A few more to go. We just put clubbing in serviceable. Next up, we have entrepreneurship. So, starting a business, starting a startup, however you want to take it.
So we're including like, those small little Instagram businesses people start.
Absolutely. Yeah,
and as well as like other
Hustles
businesses.
University.
Those sort of nefarious activities.
Yeah.
I have time for this.
Oh, I have plenty of time for this.
For the average person to just go and put their ambitions out there and start a business, I'm a big fan. There's so many different types of businesses these days.
Chase your dreams. I'm all for it.
A lot of like food related ones, I think these days, people starting to bake and stuff
Betty's
like that.
baking, Barry's barbecuing, all those kind of Instagram pages that I see,
And people making clothes maybe.
Yeah, let's rattle off the most. What's the most common ones you reckon we see? I reckon food is up there.
Yeah.
Baking especially.
Selling baked goods.
Number one.
Number one, I got to say.
Like selling goods online, like either be drop shipping or what does our friend do? Jess, she does.
Oh, she sells like digital artworks and stuff.
Oh yeah, you dabbled in a bit of that as well.
Dabbled.
Profited nicely.
I went balls deep into selling digital artworks.
But there's all sorts.
People making music, does that count? I don't know.
Nah, no, that's not like an entrepreneur. That's not really a business type thing.
There's all sorts is what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
Different varieties.
What I like about this is that you can take it as seriously as you want.
Correct.
Like you can go real head first and quit your job and basically chase a dream to change the world. You can try and go like get investment and funding and all that sort of stuff. Or you can do like a little small mum and pop shop selling pickles.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm saying that the world is your oyster.
You can go as big or as small as you want.
Yeah. And that flexibility I feel like is super important.
I agree.
Because it means that you can spend as much time as you want doing your little hobby and you can change.
Because not everyone wants their, business to be their main thing. Some people just honestly want it to be a side little thing where they can, be creative and whatnot. And then that's it.
For me, I think it's a very good hobby.
I was going to even push it up to GOAT even.
No, I think it's good. Can't be GOAT because at the end of the day, I don't think it's as much pleasure. It's work at the end of the day as well.
Oh, if you love what you do, you'll never have to
no, after a while, it becomes work, my friend. That saying is a sham. But I think after a while, you'll still enjoy it, but it's not just pure enjoyment like some of the other ones we have on the list.
But I think out of all of things that we have on our list, I think the sense of pride in, building something and, people knowing about it and selling products to people, I think that's surely that counts for something.
That's why it pushes up to good for me.
Yeah, I think it's good as well.
All right. Good it is. Next up, we have gaming.
Woo.
Gambling is a sort of type of gaming.
Get off the gambling. Right. We're not counting gambling. What are we going to include? Video games, board games, mobile games?
Board games?
What are the
board
games?
games does not count as gaming.
Gaming I thought was purely video games.
We'll talk video games. Yeah. I think this is a quintessential hobby. I'm a huge dabbler in this myself. I bought multiple games recently. I'm having the time of my life. Filling up so many hours of my day.
Isn't this a very male-dominated hobby?
Not necessarily.
I would say it's probably 90 to 80-20. I'll give you.
You're not just playing the games that maybe other genders are into.
Playing Barbie or something? Sims was a very gender-neutral game, I would say.
That is true. Sims was a very gender-neutral game.
Yeah, everyone played that.
A lot of females play like League, for example.
Rugby.
And League of Legends, the games like that. I think you're overplaying how male-dominant it is. I think it's more universal than you're letting it to be.
Either way, it doesn't really matter. It's a hobby nonetheless. I think it's a waste of time, to be perfectly honest.
That is a hot take.
I
like it. It's good.
It's a hot take.
It's a very hot take.
The man who only subbed game because the controller broke and is too cheap to buy another one. Yep.
Why do you think it's a waste of time?
As in it just feels non-constructive. Like you're never proud of your kid for playing games. You know what I mean?
What if they went pro with it?
No, forget the pro. It's a hobby.
Oh, okay. So forget the whole side of it where you can make a living out of it and focus on,
No, because again, no one makes a living out of it.
Yes, they do.
Like very few
This is literally
people.
the day and age where you can very much, if you're good enough, you can make.
But if we're talking purely as a hobby, are you proudly announcing to people that you love to game?
Yeah, but here's my counterpoint. Why does everything in life have to be about productivity and being constructive and all that? Why is this hustle culture has gone too far, man?
Remember,
what's a couple hours of your 24 hours? It's something that's relaxing.
A hobby is something you do in your time, like your leisure time, where you want to have a bit of fun.
Yeah, I'm not saying quit your job and play games all the time.
Exactly.
Definitely not. But a hard day at work, let's say you've done what you need to do, cook, whatever. You got a couple hours at the end of the day, you want to relax. Am I going to say now to you, start a fucking small business because you need to be productive all the time? No.
But I've never heard, I don't know, like everyone I've talked to about gaming, they're like, oh, I got to try and limit my game usage. I've never heard people be like, oh, I really want to game more. Like that's not really like something that people say.
Of course, no one would say that because they've got other things to do in their life.
Anything that's pure pleasure and stuff like that. Of course, you're going to say, I can't do it too much.
You have to it's like wanking. You can't wank too much.
Fuck, is that a hobby we should add to the...
But like, for example, I would say I want to gym more, or I want to play soccer more, or I want to like do literally any of those that I respect as hobbies. I'd be like, I want to do them more. I don't respect that as a hobby. But like for gaming, yes, it's fun. I'm not denying that it's not fun. I also had the time of my life playing Fortnite and Call of Duty.
End it there. End the conversation there.
But I think like, I don't know. I think it's not a respectable hobby.
It's because like you're self-aware, it's not productive, but it's still something to do, right? I think for example, if Sen had all the time in the world and could do everything, he'd say he'd also like to play a bit more FIFA, for example, right? But he knows the other responsibilities in life he's also got to do.
I have a friend who like loves to game, and he is actively trying to limit the time he does do that, because it's just like, yeah, I don't know. It feels like it can really get out of hand quite quickly in like a negative way. You know what I mean?
Can't you say that about all hobbies?
You say that about most things.
I guess so. I just think gaming is a little bit more, it's a bit more in your face like that.
All right. So where are we putting gaming on the tier list?
I think it is good.
Oh.
I think it is good. Again, it is a universal thing. Most people, it is pure like pleasure, enjoyment. Most people do it.
Yeah.
Take away the self-control. You can't self-control yourself. All these things on the list you can get addicted to. That's not the question.
You can game on your own and you can game with your friends. It brings people together. It also tears people apart.
That's besides the point.
Two gamers here. Sen, what are your thoughts on gaming?
I agree with Mano. I think it should be in the good category because it's something you can do at any age. I remember scrolling through the FIFA subreddit and people be like, I'm a 40-year-old dad of 2 kids. I'm always working and then looking after the kids. And in the spare time I have, I love to just sit down and just play FIFA. It lets me, escape from my family, essentially, is what he's saying. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that what life is about? Getting away from your wife and kids?
Exactly. You need something and it's gaming.
Oh, look, I can't argue with you two. So wherever you want to put it, I'm happy. But in my opinion, it is a serviceable option. Maybe pushing last resort, but I can see the value in it.
All right, into good it goes. All right, 2 more. Next up, OzTag. All right, OzTag, or I guess this can be representative of any sport that you can play, but we'll stick to just OzTag only.
I got to say, look, I think I'm heavily biased towards like physical activity because I'm thinking this is up there as good/GOAT. Again, like rugby league is a very inaccessible sport to play. I remember playing when I was a young child, but as a small boy, I was getting absolutely hammered.
Hey?
Like I was literally getting plowed through by like young Samoan boys, essentially. And I was like, all right, look, I got to give this sport up. I thought I could never have the chance to play again. And then what becomes popular maybe 15 years later? Bill Harrigan has rocked up with a sport, invented a little sport called OzTag, where you can play rugby league, but instead of, getting the CTE associated with that, simply you just pull the tags off. That's all it is.
I agree with that. I remember when I was young, my parents would never let me play rugby league or rugby union just purely because I was way too small. I would have been trampled, like you said. So I think that's great. It's a sport that we all love and it's non-contact. You can play mix, so girls and boys, so very accessible to everyone, to all ages as well. I've seen little kids play and I've seen adults over 30s play. Great sport. What more can you say?
Fair enough. I agree with those points, but just to be on the devil's advocate side, right? The injuries that come with OzTag. You do say it's a social sport, a mixed sport, something to do just for a bit of fun. It's not a serious sport. But I think OzTag is a sport where I've heard and seen the most injuries out of any sport by far.
Yeah, I kind of deny that, to be honest.
Like people's like major injuries, like ACLs and all this, from people that really play sport to even some people that's the only sport they play for a bit of fun. You know what I mean? So I think there's a lot of risk. I myself have been injured. I'm somewhat retired from OzTag because my shoulder and my hands have taken a beating from the sport. So that's a risk to be involved. I hear, people saying you might kill rugby league because all the kids are playing OzTag now, not rugby league.
Nah, not a chance.
That's what I've heard in some circles.
I will say that speaking about the community, then we play in a team together. You've played multiple teams. People, you play OzTag, you go to dinner afterwards. Very nice. I don't know. There's a bit of sense of community around the sport.
Yeah, I think much more than probably any other sport where, like, for example, a football, for example, soccer, it's a bit more business only. You rock up, we come to win, and that's it. After the game, maybe you go for a few beers and that's it. I feel like OzTag is a much more community-based sport. You play multiple teams. After a while, you kind of know everyone who plays.
Yeah, literally. Like you sign in at the canteen desk and everyone knows each other's name.
Yeah.
Like it's quite nice.
I think, that's the main draw of OzTag that most community sports don't have. It's very social. You get to know everyone.
And there's a corporate aspect as well. Like there's corporate tournaments and corporate competitions.
Yeah, you can play during lunchtime if you want.
Yeah, like you can, with your business itself or your company, you can make a team at work and go play with them. So I agree. I think in terms of the community aspect, it is up there. So where are we putting it?
I'd like to put it as good.
Yeah, I don't think it's GOAT. Definitely don't think it's GOAT, but I don't think it's serviceable. So I think good is really the only place we can put it. All right, so OzTag goes in good. And finally, the last one, we have traveling.
A mammoth hobby.
I ranted about this at work the other day. Like, how can you have travel as a hobby? I was watching a TV show and they were introducing contestants and they're like, oh, I love traveling. I have wanderlust, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, that's not a person. Everyone loves travel. How is that unique to you, dude? Like, if that's all you have going for you, I'm sorry, that's a bit boring.
I know a couple of people that don't.
Yeah, I also know a couple of people who don't like traveling too.
Like like a friend at work, they've never traveled and they don't have any interest in traveling.
See, that scares me. That's some sociopathic behavior.
As in with their money, they'd rather save up for a house. They'd rather do other things. The idea of travel is not as appealing. I myself, not the biggest traveler. I wouldn't say traveling is my keen hobby of mine.
Okay, all right. Maybe I'm misguided there then.
I would say that like the majority of money that I save, I put aside to just go places.
Yeah.
Because I think it's fun. I think you like get to experience new cultures. You get to hang out with people in different environments and see how everyone reacts and
eat different food.
Eat different foods. Like there's a lot of, positive aspects for me.
Yeah.
Which is why I think it's a great hobby.
Yeah, like you say, I think it's such a good thing for people to travel because just mainly you get to experience different cultures. You get to see how other people live and work and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, you get a bit more
it
worldly.
opens your mind up. Like if you've only, to your point, Manu, if your friend who's only ever lived in Sydney and blah, like that's all he's ever known, like it's so hard to be a rounded human if you've never left, you've never gone further west than the Blue Mountain.
Look, I also got to say, it's something that I feel like people look forward to it. Like their whole year is leading up to that trip, that 4 weeks of annual leave that they have. Maybe they're trying to a trip to New Zealand. Maybe they're going to Europe. Like everything leads up to that. It's like the highlight and the pinnacle of the year.
Traveling for me means you're on holiday. You don't have to think about work. You don't have to think about your normal day to day. It's, turn your brain off, you're on vacation. You're having fun. It's leisure.
So surely by this metric, right? I feel like most people like enjoy traveling.
Yeah.
Maybe we enjoy it more than most.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like there's no downsides. Like literally all on the subreddits, if you look at like Oz Finance, the most frugal of people, right? They'll like some like 21-year-old kid will ask, I have $10,000. Like what should I invest it in? And all of the top comments are always like, don't worry about investing at that age. Go travel and just like experience the world.
Yeah, everyone's like, go see the world.
Yeah.
So, why not? And dude, also just quietly, travel doesn't have to mean you go overseas. Even just exploring Australia and seeing what Australia has to offer is still, it's just life changing. You go see the Barrier Reef, Uluru, literally wonders of the world.
In your backyard. Yeah, I agree. For me, this has got to go.
Yeah,
I think it has to be. There's no negative. A bit expensive, but like it's worth it's worth it infinitely. So GOAT, definitely.
All right, so travel will go into GOAT. So our full list is in GOAT. We have gym and traveling. In good, we have running, small business, gaming, and OzTag. In serviceable, we have food influencing, clubbing, and raving. In last resort, we have bouldering and fitness coach. And in trash, we have car. Disagree. Lifestyle influencing and sports betting.
You know what? In retrospect, car maybe a bit
you guys
low.
have done car so dirty.
But it's not that low that I'm going to say let's redo it. I'm still happy with where it is.
I feel like it still should be last resort, but anyway, I'm happy with the rest of that list.